Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Grow With Me. I'm your host, Aziza. In this episode, we are planning to focus on time management, like how to manage your time and stop feeling overwhelmed. Before diving into this episode, I want you to grab your favorite drink, whether it's a cup of coffee, cup of tea, cup of matcha, or maybe like a cup of juice so that you listen while having your drink. I would like to ask you one question. So, we are planning to start this episode with one question. Excuse me. The question says, are you struggling to manage your time while balancing work, study, and life? Like, do you find it really struggling? Do you find it really challenging? If your answer is yes, please let me know down below in the comments. However, if you feel that you don't have any problems, you don't have any struggles, you don't have any challenges balancing between work, life, and study, in this case, I would love to hear about your tips and tricks, and maybe if you have some advice for us that can help us maybe adjust our strategy, maybe implement something else in our strategy. I mean, I would love to hear about your tips and tricks down below as well. So, this is the question. So, in this episode, actually, we are breaking down the truth about productivity and time management. If you always feel overwhelmed or like you are suffering from burnout, in this case, I believe it is time to change your strategy. What does that mean? It means that there must be something in your strategy that has to be changed or maybe has to be adjusted because it is not always possible to keep on using the same strategy all the time. You need to keep on changing from time to time. If you feel that working during the day does not help you anymore, then you need to change the strategy. You need to maybe you need to work at night. Maybe you need to wake up early morning and start working. If you feel that it is not maybe possible for you to focus in a quiet place, maybe try listening to some music or maybe try to have your headset in order to focus. So you really need to look at the aspects of your strategy and try to change what needs to be changed. So, in this episode, actually, I am sharing my personal tips on how to prioritize tasks, also avoid the procrastination trap, and why energy management is more important than time management. You heard me right. Energy management is more important. Why? Because when it comes to time, yes, time management is important, like no doubts. But energy is the most important part. Your energy is the most important thing that you need to make sure it is always on. It can't be off. Your energy needs to be on so that you can achieve what you need to achieve. What does that mean? If you feel that you are really tired, you are not in the mood, maybe you're no longer interested. In this case, you won't have the energy that can help you achieve your target. So, what you need to do, you need to recharge your energy. How do you recharge it? Maybe by looking at the strategy that you are using. So, you get what I mean? If your strategy is positive, your energy level is 100%. But if your strategy is not really great, you won't have the energy. You won't have like complete energy. As simple as that. Another thing is that when it comes to energy, you need to look at your circle. If you're in the office and you feel that your energy is always drained, you need to look at the circle. You need to look at your place. You need to look at your space, basically. All right? Because sometimes we don't actually realize the energy that we have in the office. Sometimes the energy can be very negative. So in this case, you really need to look at the strategy. All right? You really need to look at um, your space. You need to look at the cycle. You need to filter something. All right? So this is what I mean by the energy management. And it is very much important. Like, for example, in my case, my energy can be down if I am working in a very quiet place, I would say, if I'm working like maybe in the library, because really, I know it sounds funny to some of you, but in my case, I don't find myself very energetic when it comes to studying in the library. Maybe because of the air condition, like the library is always cold, and I feel so sleepy over there. So, what actually helps me is working or maybe studying or doing my work in a very noisy place. Really, this is where I find my energy. Another thing that actually helped me is Nescafe, like a cup of Nescafe. It is really amazing. So, this is for me actually. This is how I get my energy. What about you? Like, how do you get your energy? Do you get your energy by working in a very quiet place or maybe working in cold place like a place like for example like the library or maybe the office where the air condition is always on, or maybe you find your energy working maybe like where really like tell me. I mean, I would love to hear your comments. I mean really I would love to know more about your energy level, all right? So, yeah, that's why I said here the energy management is very much important. Now, here are basically some points that I would like to share with you. Point number one is the too busy trap. Well, you heard me clear. Too busy trap. What does that mean? Being too busy is actually a trap. Being too busy doesn't mean you are productive. I know it sounds harsh, but this is actually the truth. This is the hard truth, I would say. Being busy doesn't mean being productive. Anyone can be busy. Even babies can be busy. But not anyone can be productive. Why? I'll give you a scenario. Let's say you are working on achieving a deadline. You are trying to focus, but in the middle of work, you got a notification. Why? Because your phone is near you. You stopped working to get to check the notification. And instead of just checking the notification, you find yourself scrolling on social media, spending maybe 5 minutes. From 5 minutes, it becomes half an hour. From half an hour becomes 1 hour, 2 hours. And after that, you remember, only then you remember that you have a deadline to meet. You try to go back to your deadline, to your project. Try to maybe to complete one sentence, and you find it really hard because your brain is kind of tired after spending a lot of after spending 1 hour or two on your phone. And then you feel like you want to have maybe a cup of coffee or a cup of tea just to relax your brain. And in this case, what happened? You stop working to get yourself something to drink. And then you come back to your project. You come back to complete it. And then you try to write a bit. And after that, someone calls you. Maybe if you are in the office, you get a colleague coming by, and that colleague actually asks you something. And from that question, you find yourself talking with your colleague about unnecessary things. And then you try to come back to focus on your deadline. But then what happened? You feel like you don't have the energy that you need. So you feel like, oh, okay, I don't have the energy. Maybe I will try to work on it after some time. Maybe I need to have some break. So what happened? No productivity, but busy. Busy with what? Busy checking your phone, busy scrolling on social media, busy talking with your colleague, busy doing a lot of things, but not your work. And by the way, I'm very much sorry if you heard some noise on the background because there's actually a truck. And I've been like actually trying to record this episode 12 times. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. 12 times I've been trying to record this episode, but because of the truck that keeps on passing by, I really hope it's not really disturbing. So, yeah, going back to being too busy and productivity. So, this is what actually happens. Being busy doesn't mean being productive. So, with this scenario, you are actually busy talking with your colleague, busy checking your phone, busy drinking, busy relaxing. But what about the productivity? Maybe, I don't want to say zero, but maybe less than 50, I would say. So, in the end, what happened? You get tired, you get frustrated, you start struggling. The deadline is approaching the corner, and you feel like you're not having any great balance, and maybe you feel that you reach burned out. You feel like um you're kind of burned with everything. Why? Because of the what they call it, like because of the management, like because of the strategy that you are managing yourself with. So that is why being too busy is a trap. When it comes to doing your work, try to be productive. This is very much important because everyone can be busy, as I said. All right. So this is point number one. Number two, you should not do a multitasking job. Stop multitasking and try to focus on just one thing at a time. Because the biggest mistake that we usually make is multitasking. We think we can do five things at once, but our brain just gets tired. And when the brain gets tired, what happened? No productivity. You won't be able to produce even one thing out of five. So that is why it is very much important to focus on one thing at a time. Try to finish it and then move to the next one instead of doing a multitasking job. So, seriously, you really need to stop doing that. And I know this particular trend where people say being a multitasking person is the best, where you can do a lot of things at one time, but actually, you might be able to do everything, but the results might not be great. So, what you need to do is that focusing, focusing on one thing at a time. Try to finish it and then move to the next one. All right. Point number three is the 80 over 20 rule. What does that mean? You need to work smarter, not harder. All right. Work smarter. This is basically connected to productivity because when it comes to working hard, everyone can work hard. Work hard by focusing, for example, on your project while talking to your colleague, helping your colleague with whatever they have. At the same time, checking your phone, answering some messages, and then going back to your project. This is working hard. You are trying to juggle between everything. But when it comes to working smart, it is something related to focusing. It is something related to productivity. So, really, so always try to ask yourself, what are the most important things on my list today? This question is very much important. You need to look at the list. What do you need to achieve? You need to stop doing busy work. Really, stop doing busy work and start doing the important work. So it is very much important to stop doing busy work, work that is just keep you busy, busy, busy. All right. Point number four is the energy management. What does that mean, energy management? Energy management, where you need to listen to your body, you need to listen to your mind. So, if you are, for example, a morning person, in this case, you need to do your hardest work during the morning. You don't leave your creative work for the end of the day when you are so exhausted. If you feel that you are a night person, try to do your hard work at night where when everyone is sleeping. But really, you need to listen to yourself. You need to listen to listen to your body. You need to listen to your mind. You need to know which part of the day works for you, where you can achieve the most. All right. The other thing is that you need to learn how to say no to distractions. And this is very much important. You need to learn how to say no to distractions. Anything that distracts you, say no to it. Your phone, if you get notifications from your friends on social media, you should not check your phone. You should not um, answer unnecessary calls. So this is very much important. So basically, your phone, your social media, and even small favors for friends are time thieves. Really, these things are basically stealing your time. They are time thieves. So what you need to do is that to manage your time very much, to manage your time very well, you have to protect it. It's okay actually to turn off your phone from time to time and maybe tell people that you're not available. It's okay. Why? Because your time is your life. All right? You need to remember that your time is your life. If you don't finish your project, who will actually be blamed? You or your friends? For sure, you. So what happens? Turn off your calls, or turn off your phone, maybe turn off notifications. Maybe you should not answer your friends when you are busy until you finish what you need to finish. The last thing is the 15-minute rule, and this will be the final advice in this episode. What do I mean by the 15-minute rule? Let's say, for example, if you have a deadline, but the deadline is too, the task is really too big, like you feel that the task is too big. So what you need to do is that you need to give it a 15 minutes. So usually try to start with the hardest part. Once you start, the procrastination disappears. And just give it 15 minutes. And seriously, it actually works because I heard this from one of the YouTubers, I think, or maybe podcasters, I'm not really sure, but they actually talked about the fact that where you need to play with your brain. You need to treat your brain like a toy. So what you can do is that if you have a project, right, you should not look at the project as as like maybe time consuming, or maybe you should not look at the project as something challenging. You need to break it into parts and give yourself a time of maybe 15 minutes. Why? Because when you start working, the brain, the brain is actually like a muscle. You need to warm your muscles. Like let's say for example you go to the gym, all right? You can't actually start like training yourself immediately. I think you need to do some warm up, something like that. The same thing with your brain. You need to warm your brain. How do you warm your brain? By like starting with the hardest thing. Like give it just 15 minutes. Seriously, give your brain 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you find your brain focusing and like really working its best. Trust me, like I have actually um I have actually tried that because I was there long time ago. I had a lot of difficulties focusing and everything, but when I tried the 15-minute rule, I found it really interesting and I found it really beneficial. So seriously, try it. Try it and let me know. And I am sure you will get a positive result because seriously, your brain is like a muscle. You just need to train it. All right. So yeah, basically these are everything um related to today's episode. And if you have any questions, I mean, if you have questions or if you have opinions, or if you have anything you would like to share with me or you would like to talk to me about, please let me know down below. And if you have other topics that you want me to speak about, let me know as well in the comments below. And so yeah, basically, I really hope today's episode was not really heavy. I hope it was kind of interesting, and I hope it was kind of um beneficial for you. And if you find it really beneficial, if you find it really interesting, please let me know down below as well. So, in this case, I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful time, and I'll be looking forward to having you tomorrow. So, have a great day and take care. Bye bye.